Hello, welcome back programmers. Spidey is back with another video. So in previous video what we have seen about the traffic signs recognition. If you have not watched that video, so first watch that video. It's available in the my channel and mentioned in the description box. So now in this video I am talking about one more deep learning project. So in this video, so first let's see what we are doing here. So I have created this handwritten digit recognition application in which you can draw the digit and our machine learning model can recognize what digit is it. So let's see. So this UI is built in with the Tkinter. So in this video, I will start from the scratch how you can implement the machine learning on the dataset and how you can create this application. So now you can see I can this is the drawing area, so I can draw here. So let me draw something. I'm drawing the 5. Actually my cursor is some weird, so it's lagging, but it's okay. So let's click on the predict digit. So you can see predicted digit is the 5 and my prediction accuracy is 0.99%. So my model is 99% sure about this digit. So let's do on more numbers. So it can recognize 0 to 9. Okay, so now this is the wrong prediction, but actually this is based on the our training data. So we have used a MNIST dataset, guys. If you don't know what is MNIST dataset, then MNIST dataset is the most popular dataset for the deep learning task. So actually MNIST dataset is slightly different than drawing digit, but still it's working good. But sometimes it's get wrong accuracy, but still it's okay. So let me try on some another digit. So we have tried on the 5th. So once again let me try on the 3. Okay, so now you can see predicted digit is a 399% accurate model. So now we will see how we can implement this project from the scratch. So guys, you can see this is the application. I am not showing you the code, so just I am showing you the application. So project means what? Just you have to create some user interface, so you can show this user interface to your client or your faculty or whatever the person which you have to show your work. So now let's do from the scratch. So this is the code for the GUI, but we need to first implement deep learning on the our data set. So we need to do some steps here. So go to the Jupyter notebook. So guys, lots of people asking me to what IDE I am using. So for the application development like Tkinter or Flask, I am using PyCharm, because PyCharm is good for the project development. But in terms of machine learning and deep learning, I am using Jupyter notebook. So let's see how we can implement this digit recognition from the scratch. So first of all, import all the necessary libraries. You can say import Keras. So we are using MNIST dataset, which is already inbuilt in the Keras. So now there is a most important confusion is that MNIST dataset is actually not inbuilt in Keras. It provides the support. You can directly download the MNIST dataset from the Keras, because Keras dataset is just a big dataset. So it's actually not inbuilt in the Keras. It's just providing support. So we can download MNIST dataset directly from the internet. So this is the biggest confusion. Okay, so let's see continue. So we have important sequential neural network. Then we have important layer like dense, dropout, flatten. So guys, for this video, you need to have a good knowledge of the neural network, good knowledge of the pandas, sklearn, and many more things. Sorry, we are not covering sklearn here, but we are using only Keras. Even not we are not using pandas because there is a no CSV here. So now we don't need to do anything. There is a MNIST.load data function. So this load data function will automatically download the dataset from this URL. Okay. So now we need to split the dataset. So we have split our dataset in xtrain, ytrain, xtest, and ytest. So our splitting task is done. So this is also a simple step. So xtrain, ytrain. So okay, now we need to check the shape of our data. So just remember our xtrain and ytrain shape should be same. and X test and Y test shape should be same. So you can check it. Okay. So you can check it. It should be same. Otherwise, it will give you the shape error during the training time. So remember this thing. Okay. So now this is the bigger array, or we can say bigger matrix. So now we have to reshape our matrix. So just we have to use the numpy function, which is the reshape. So in there just we have to define 28, 28 and 1. So this is the this how you can shape the MDisk data set using the reshape function. So now this will be our input shape. So 28, 28 means what? It actually will be input size for the image. If we are feeding the input for our model, then our image size should be 28 into 28, means height is a 28 and weight is also 28. So now we have done the reshape here. So now there is a one also thing available. So categorical conversion. So already just assume that just I am writing here for your condition. So my outcome would be what? 0 to 9. Okay, so this is the classification problem. So most of people are confusing with the classification and regression problem. So my outcome should be in 0 to 9. So we need to import a two categorical function from the Keras, because you know something problem related to the when you are doing the classification of the more than binary. If you are doing for only 0 and 1, then you don't need to implement this step. But if we have a outcome more than 0 and 1, then we need to implement this step here. So this concept is known as a one-hot encoding. If you don't know, then just go for a Stack Overflow. On Stack Overflow page, it's explained by some of the master who is just awesome. So just read that content. Okay, so now it's time for the normalization on the our images. So now we are treating our xtrand and xtest dataset as a float 32, because float contains the decimal value. So we need that in during the training time. We cannot neglect that value. So we are using the float. So now for the normalization process, if you don't know normalization, then just remember, for the normalization we have to just divide and equal to by to 255. So we have normalized xtrand and text data. Now once again check the shape, because we did the pre-processing here. So now we need to this is our responsibility to check the shape. So once again remember my word, check the shape, and shape should be same for the all. Now we have the 16,000 train sample and 1,000 test sample. So now we have processed our data set. So now it's time to fit the model. So you can see our almost work is more than 50% work is done here. So now my batch size is 128. You can choose the batch size according to you, but 128 for the amnesty is a good. So num classes is equal to 10. So num classes is the what? Num classes means that you have 10 types of the categories, like 0 to 9. Epochs. Epochs means just how many times you want to iterate the neural network. So you can choose the 50, 20, 25. It's according to you. For better accuracy, you can change here to 15 to 20. But for me, 15 is okay. So now model is equal to sequential. Then we have just fitted convolutional neural network. Kernel size is 3, activation is the ReLU. Now input size we have defined once again convolution. Once again we have defined ReLU. Then for the for the increasing loss, we have to choose the dropout of 0.25 once again. Then we have defined flatten layer. Then once again dense. After the dense, we have choose the dropout here. Okay. So now at the end we are compiling our model. So in the last dense we have to define in the last layer we have to choose our outcome. So in the last layer we get our outcome. So outcome in the dense of outcome, it should be your number of the classes. So that's why I have defined here number of the classes. My number of classes is 10. So that's why I have defined 10 here, and here I have used the softmax function. So now it's time to compile the model. So loss is equal to Keras losses categorical cross entropy, and optimizer is a delta optimizer. You can choose the different optimizer according to your try and error. Just guys, this is like a try and error. So there is a no some concept like this just for this task you have to do this. It's like a try and error. So now it's time for the training. So model.fit, now we have to feed the data xtrend, ytrend, batch size, and validation data is equal to xtest and ytest. So now we have started to training. So now this training is done on the my NVIDIA 2GB 920 MX. So this training is done on the GPU. So lots of people having trouble with the NVIDIA installation. So guys, just remember my word. If you have an NVIDIA graphics card, then just use install a PyCUDA library, and after that PyCUDA you can use the TensorFlow GPU any version. So I'm using 1.14 version for my GPU. And during if you want to if you don't know training running on the CPU or GPU, so just let me show you what you can do. So just go for the task manager. When you start the training, just go to the performance and go to the GPU one. If we normally our GPU usage is a null, means it show the zero when you using the normal application. When you do some video hardware rendering, then it will show, it will increase the bar. But when you are doing training, if it's going to the 10 automatically it's updating, then you need to know your training is done on the GPU. So that's how you can know how it's your training running on the GPU and CPU. So now at the end I got the 0.9932 accuracy for the validation, and my loss is 0.02. So let's see in model evaluation what I got. So in model evaluation I got the 0.024 test loss, and my test accuracy is 0.9932. So this is the amazing accuracy. But now I need to check my model is overfitted or not. But before checking, just assume that I am saving the model. So most of people doesn't know about this concept. Just imagine that currently my training is saved in this Jupyter notebook. If I want to predict, then I can access this model through this model variable. But assume that I turn off the laptop, and after 2 hours I came back to the work. Then I don't need to do training from the scratch, okay? Because the training takes too much time. So we can save our model directly. So now there is a go to any directory, like I'm going to the D, just create the one directory and create the one folder here, training. So before the after the creation of directory, just uh, change the path of the newer directory here and create the new directory of the training, and just you have to write here training. Actually I forgot to write a training here. So it will store your model into training folder. So here I have used the model.save. So now it will save my model into training directory. So you can see mlist.h5. So this is the model in which it stores the basic all the learning process. So in the future I can access my training with the help of this file, mlist.h5 file. So once again my almost work is done. So now assume that I go for the work and another work and refreshment. After 2 hours I come back to the my work. So now I want to access that model once again. So just you have to change the path of this directory here. So go change the path of this directory with the OS. Then we need to load the model from that our directory. So I am using matplotlib and keras load model function, which will allow us to load the model. So once again now I want to do testing on the one images. So I have created the function dep test images. Then I need to open the image. As I told, you need to reshape the image. Sorry, resize the image into 28 into 28. Then we need to convert into L. L means what? It's converting into color RGB. After that, we have converted our data into array, and once again we have reshaped our image. After reshaping, our image should be normalized. So we have normalized. and after the normalization we need to predict on the image, means which image is this. So now with the np.arguments, which is the function, it will get the result. So you will get result in this digit variable with the help of np.argmax, and it returned me also for the plot. So that's why I have written prediction and plot, because I want to plot the original image on the matplotlib. So just let me run this once again. So I have downloaded some testing images from the Google. So let's check me one by one images. So first let me check for the t1.jpg. So it's doing the first time, so it takes the time. So it will return me original image on the prediction. So guys, wait for the around 1 or 2 minutes. So guys, for this project now we have done the almost 50% work here. Now after this testing, we will move to the direct Tkinter application. So how you can implement this thing into Tkinter application? And guys, I will make one another video. Let me show you the thing once. One amazing thing. I have created this application into Windows application. So guys, you can see. I think our result is done. No, it's not ready. So you can see this is the application of the Tkinter which we have created using this code. But after that I have converted my application into this Windows application. So let's see where is the .application file. So guys, you can see this is the application file which is created from our Python code. So this is the Windows executable file. So it will work same as your application, but guys, there is no need to have a Python in your system to run this application, because this is the Windows application. So let me run it once again. So I will make one separate tutorial on this, how you can convert your Tkinter application into desktop application. So let's predict the digit. Okay, so prediction is the 5. So guys, you can see this, even it has some icon here, and this is the Windows application. So I will make one separate video on this. So get back to the result. Okay, so now my prediction is the 7, and you can see the image is 7. So let's do for the T2. So actually the in the drawing, why it's getting the wrong accuracy sometime, because here you can see background is the just black, and you can see this pixel is a white, but in our drawing it's a vice versa. Our digit is in the black and background is the white, so there is, so due to some image difference, that's why it's giving us a wrong prediction. So let me check on the another image, t3.jpg. So predicted digit is the 5. You can see this is the 5. Now open this working directory in the PyCharm. So now it's time for the GUI development. Now you have save our training model into training folder. So now go to the PyCharm, create GUI. So normally I am not explaining in the totally details. So Tkinter is just easy import all the libraries which is you have implemented during the training, and import Tkinter as well as I have created one Tkinter frame here, means one our parent GUI for our Tkinter. I have given the title, background is equal to choose, I have white. Then I have load also model file also, because I need to do pre-process on the model. Then I choose the geometry. Icon bitmaps means what the icon bitmap means. You can see this is the icon for the PyCharm. So you can choose this ICO as your icon. So that's why we need to define our ICO file here. Resizable 00 means what? You cannot minimize and maximize your Tkinter screen. So now let me focus on the first GUI. After that I will explain you the backend task. So you can see this is the icon, that's why I have defined icon bitmap, and windows.resizable 00 means I cannot minimize and maximize the screen. So now I need to do some here. I have downloaded this image from the Google. I need to place this image. So with this code I have opened this image and resize, and then I have placed my image into label. So you can see I have placed my image here, and label I have placed using X and Y. So now my image is placed here. After that we need to press this two button for the predict and clear. So I have placed this button, but for the prediction I have choose button is a disable, means when I start the drawing then my button will be enable, you can see, and when I click on the clear it will be disable. So normally if my digit is not drawn and when I click on the predict digit, then it will give me error. So for the error handling I will choose this button as a disable. So now we are using canvas control for this drawing. So we have defined canvas, choose the width and height, color, midnight blue, and cursor is equal to pencil, means it will use this as a pencil cursor. So that's why I choose the pencil here. I placed my canvas here. So GUI is just simple. I have placed some control. I have put this label here. So now go to the backend. So if you want to draw the digit, then this is the code which I found out on the Tkinter documentation. We need to define the x, y, and r, means 10 is equal to means uh, just wait a minute. When I draw, then it's depend on the width of the drawing. So that's why I define r is equal to 10. And then create all is the method. Just you have to define this x and r value, x minus r, y minus r, and x plus r and y plus r, and fill is equal to black, means it will paint is the black color. And panel 5 dot configure state is equal to normal, means what, when I start the drawing this predict button will be clickable. So that's why I define this line here. So now we need to implement this draw digit function in our cursor event. So this is the most important task. So we need to bind the canvas here. So I will define canvas dot bind is equal to b1 motion event. So this is what b1 motion means. This is the left cursor click event. So when you press the left button of the your cursor, then it will call this function of the draw digit. So when I click in this area with the left button, so it will start the drawing. So that's why I initialize my cursor, and I bind the my canvas here using button motion event. So this is the most important step here. So now this work is done. So now just for the go to the prediction part. So now I need to save the drawing. Just imagine I have just drawn here. Now I am converting this drawing into EPS file format. After the EPS file format, once again I am doing this converting into the JPG. After the opening this file, actually I am not storing the image, just I am using the object file here. So after the EPS conversion, I am opening with is the Python image library. Then once again I am doing the resizing. These all are the steps as the which is same as the training time. So I am not explaining here. Just I have placed my result into our label. So you can see when I click on the predict digit. Let me do some. When I click on the digit, it should be show my prediction. So I have defined two label here. Predicted digit is the string just for the result, and I am printing accuracy also. So I have defined one another label for the accuracy. So now my prediction is done. Now I need to do for the clear button. So when I click on the clear button, my canvas should be erased. So canvas dot delete, and all method will delete the canvas, means it clear the canvas. And now when I click on the clear button, my this predict button should be unclickable. So that's why I define panel 5 dot configure and then state is equal to disable. And this label also should be deleted, means you can see this is the label, predicted digit is 8 and prediction accuracy is 0.57. so when I click on the clear, this label also should be deleted. So that's why I define no dot destroy and no one dot destroy. This is the id of our label. So guys, you can see my application is ready in just 89 line. Okay, so just image grab is extra, so I need to remove it. So guys, that's all for the today video. Just in the 25 minute I will explain all the project from the scratch. So what we have seen, the how you can load the MNIST data, then how you can fit the neural network on it. After that, how you can save our training file, and after that we have seen a Tkinter application, how you can implement machine learning and deep learning into Tkinter application. So that's all for the today video. I will in the next video I will show how you can convert this Tkinter application into Windows executable installer. So guys, if you now I'm starting one thing here, now you can give me a suggestion of the next deep learning and machine learning projects into the comment section. So I will try to make that project also for you, and I will post a tutorial of it. So just wait a minute guys, I want to tell you something. If you have not subscribed my machine learning hub channel, then just subscribe the machine learning hub, because I will upload more tutorial in the future here. So just subscribe the channel here. If you want to contact me, then just go to the my page on the machine learning hub. You can directly go to this page and you can contact me here. Okay, so guys, thank you for the listening me. Keep coding, be healthy, and see you in the next one. So guys, thanks for the listening me.